Hey, it's Meredith, and in today's lesson I'm going to teach you how to pronounce all of the months of the year in English with an American accent. Some of them are pronounced a little differently than how they're spelled, so make sure you watch to the end to prevent any pronunciation mistakes. Let's start with January. What's going to help you with this month and with all of the rest of them is noticing not just the individual sounds that make up the pronunciation, but also the rhythm. So let's just listen to the word. January. Notice that rhythm. We have da, 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 da. So I want you to try to follow that. January. Now let's look at each of the individual syllables and how they're pronounced. So the first syllable, which is the strongest one, is pronounced j, j, n. So we have a j consonant sound, the nasal version of a, and then an n. Jan, the next syllable is u. So we have a y, like a light y sound, y, u. Our next syllable is air. So it's really important that you open the mouth wide for this. So we're going to drop the jaw down. Air. So we start from an a, like in bed, and then come up into an air, like the word air. Air, and the final syllable, e. So now let's put them together following our rhythm. January. Moving on to February. With this word, just don't even try to make it sound like how it's spelled, because this is one of those weird words where the spelling is like really different from the pronunciation. So instead, let's focus on the rhythm. In fact, the words January and February actually rhyme. So let's look at both the rhythm and the individual sounds that make up the word February. Starting with the rhythm. We have the same rhythm as January, so we have this da, 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 da kind of rhythm. February. And now looking at the individual syllables, in the first syllable, our strong syllable, we have feb, f, e, b, ebb, feb. That's our first syllable and the strongest syllable, and all the rest of the syllables are exactly the same as in January. So you have you, air, e. So let's put those sounds to the same rhythm. February. Moving on, our next is March. So this is one syllable, very simple with the sounds. It's m, ah, American R sound, and then ch. The sound is an exploding sound. Ch. March. Next we have April. So we have two syllables. The first one is the strongest and it's pronounced like the diphthong A, like how we say the letter A. And then our second syllable, it's the weak syllable, so it sounds like we have basically no vowel sound at all. This is called schwa. So we're going to pronounce p, l. Almost sounds like there's no vowel. Prol. P, l. Prol. April. Our next month is May. This one's pretty simple. So one syllable, so there's no stress to worry about. We have the sounds m, and then the diphthong A, May. Our next month is pretty simple too, June. So it's also one syllable, no stress to worry about. The only thing that might be tricky about this one is the j sound. So if you're a Spanish speaker, I need the sound to be a little stronger. So not June. Put the tongue really up there and create a lot of tension. June. We have the same sound in the word July. And with July, we have more than one correct pronunciation. I'm going to teach you both ways. So let's do the fully pronounced first syllable way first, which is Jew. So we have j, u, Jew. And then the second syllable is the strongest one. So it's July, We pronounce that ul, American L, ul. So it's a little bit guttural. And then we have the diphthong I, e. I need to hear both of them equally. I, lie. So we have July. Now, you're just as likely to hear July as you might hear the way that I pronounce it, which is July. The only difference is that in the first one, we're pronouncing that oo sound fully, and in the way that I pronounce it, the second one, we're pronouncing a schwa. So because that first syllable is the weak one, I'm just taking that oo and kind of reducing it to schwa. So instead of saying July, I'm saying July. Our next month is August. So our stress there is da-da. Stress on the first syllable, and that first syllable is only a vowel sound, and it is ah, ah. It's not ah, it's not o, and it's definitely not ow. Make sure you don't make this mistake because we see written in ah, oo if you're a Spanish speaker, so that looks like ow. In English, that is not the case. So we pronounce ah, ah like an awesome. So we have ah, and then our second syllable is gust, gust. Here we need to reduce the vowel to a schwa, so we're pronouncing basically just the consonants. It kind of sounds like the vowel disappears. So those consonants are g, g, s, s, t, t, gust, gust. So we have August, August. The last 4 months of the year all follow similar patterns, and the first one is the rhythm. They all have the same rhythm, and they all end in the sound. The rhythm is going to be da, da, da. It's going to make a little bit more sense when we get to the actual words, but just try that out loud and feel that rhythm. We have weak, strong, weak, da, 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 da. So they all have this rhythm. The ending that they all have is ending in an ending. So try not to roll or tap your R, so it's not like r, nothing like that. We just have tension in the mouth. We create American R sound, and these endings don't really have a strong vowel. They sound more like schwa, so it's just like the by itself. For the ending. Let's take a look at September. So the first syllable, even though that's not our strong syllable, we're actually not going to reduce to schwa here. We're going to fully pronounce the vowel sound, which is eh. So we have s, eh, p. But you'll notice when I say it, I'm actually going to kind of hold the P. I'm not going to puff the air out. So I'm going to say set, set. And that's because the next syllable that comes is our strong syllable. We have that t sound, so I'm going to say septem. So we have the same eh sound, t, eh, tem, tem, septem. And then our final syllable is br, br. So like I said, in all of these, it's a weak syllable, so we're going to have the sound without really hearing a strong vowel, so it's just going to sound like schwa, But in this case, we have b, br. Let's put it to the rhythm. September, September. Now we have October. So again, same rhythm. Weak, strong, weak. The first syllable, once again, we're not reducing it. We are going to fully pronounce the vowel sound, which in this case is ah, ah. We've seen it a couple times now, so it's just jaw relaxed, going down, ah, and then k, ok, ok. Our strong syllable is toe. So it's written T-O, and we're going to pronounce that O as the diphthong O. So when you pronounce this diphthong, it's important to hear both parts. So we need to hear O, U, O, O. So by the time you finish saying this syllable, your mouth should be in an U position. Toe. Our final syllable is the same as the last one, so we have bur, bur. Weak syllable, so we don't pronounce a vowel. B, bur. October, October. Moving on to November, we have very similar things happening here. So of course the same rhythm, same ending. And just like the other ones, our first syllable, even though it's a weak syllable, we are fully pronouncing the vowel, which in this case is O. So the diphthong. You need to say O, U, O. By the time you finish saying the syllable, your mouth should be in an U position. No, no. Okay, and then our second syllable, the strong one, is them. So we have v, v. You need to make sure you're making a vibration with your lip and teeth. V. And then we have them. And for our ending, same as the last two, we have bur, bur. November, November. For our last month of the year, we have December. Again, it's following the same patterns that we just covered in the last three, same rhythm and some other similar qualities, starting with the first syllable, which is d. So you notice we are not saying D, it's not December, it's December. So that I sound is like the E, but kind of reduced a little bit. We're not reducing all the way to a schwa, but we are reducing that sound a little bit. So we're saying d, d. And then we have our strong syllable, which is sem. So again, we have this sound we've been hearing a lot. Sem. And then our last syllable, just like the last three that we saw, is bur. Bur. So let's put that to the rhythm. December. So now let's go through all of them together. I'm gonna say them 2 times. The first time kind of slowly, really emphasizing the rhythm and the pronunciation, and the second time normally. I'm gonna leave a little space after each repetition, so try to repeat after me, copying what you hear. Starting with January, January. February, February. March, March. April, April. May, May. June, June. July or July, July. August, August. September, September. October, October. November, November. December, December. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Hopefully this video was useful to you. Leave me a comment to let me know what you thought, or if there's any other videos you want to see in the future. If you want to see more videos like this and keep improving your pronunciation together with me, make sure to subscribe. If you want to take the first step and really start seeing some big results and start getting into accent training, you can start with my 4-part free pronunciation training mini course, which is like an in-depth lesson about a couple different sounds. You can find that in the link in the description below. Either way, I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.